How would you like to think on your deathbed you didn't know the truth? I couldn't do it. I was doing some work in a refinery in Dumas, Texas. That's where we lived our life for 30 years, until I run into this project. This got my attention here. Pardon the French. A few years ago, we were grinding down, and finally we fell into a vault. And the hole was surrounded with frogs. It was weird. It was very weird. They would just sit there on the edge of the bank, and they wouldn't move until you walked up and touched them on the nose, and they'd jump. They had no way of knowing that you were there. I mean, they couldn't see nothing. They asked what we was going to name it, and I said, that's simple. We'll call it Blind Frog Ranch.
We had heard about this property up in Utah where there was precious metals on there. So we hired a group that was associated with NASA to run scans on the property. Basically, the scans showed that there was about 2 miles worth of flooded caves or voids underneath that property. So that was enough for me, and I bought into it. The project cost me a lot. Not just the money. It's really high risk, but we always liked high-risk projects, always.
What is it about this one that makes it a high-risk project?
Well, Skinwalker Ranch is just south of us, 20 miles plus or minus. We're on a strange plot of land that has a lot of stuff going on. My son Chad is invested in this too. He sold his crop dusting business, sold his house.
So he's up here pretty well year-round helping me on this project.
We have breakfast stuff?
I have oatmeal.
Oatmeal, yeah.
Gotta heat it up.
My motivation in life used to be making as much money as I could. But you always want more stuff, so I was always working and I couldn't like hang out with my family, and I'm kind of done with stuff right now and more about the experience. All right, this is real hot, guys. Watch out. Is that one ready?
Yeah.
All right. We pretty much sold everything and bought a school bus, and now we're just gonna try to live simple and just enjoy life more and live free, really.
It's just not me and Chad. It's also Charlie Boy I've known for years. He's one of the few that I could trust.
All right, big boy, she's all yours. I spent 20 years with the Sheriff's Department, so I've had a lot of experience in security. You got a $200,000 drill rig back up there. You got a $500,000 piece of equipment here. He's really raising the stakes this year. So I need to do everything I can out here to protect the investment that Duane has made.
Basically, we just need to get into that cavern. So a year ago, we drilled a hole about 4 foot in diameter, and we fell into a void about 20 foot down. So I reinforced the hole with a 48-inch casing. So that was it. After a lot of hard work, we finally had our entry point into the cavern system. So I dove down there myself, and I about pissed in my wetsuit because there was a huge flooded cave.
Bring up, bring up.
But when we came back the next day, the hole had completely flooded. So now not only is our entry point under about 15 feet of murky water, the chute is now buried under a massive amount of sediment that came in on our pipe whenever the water came up. So the long boom track hole is a huge game changer.
Looking good, old man.
Better whip.
As soon as we get all the muck out of there, we can take a shot at sliding down into that hole. Truth is, I know a lot more about drilling for oil than I do digging for gold. So this year I'm bringing in some extra brain power to help me get to the bottom of what's going on.
I get hired a lot by oil companies, by mineral companies. Basically, I'm hired to find things. I got contacted by this man from Texas. He has a project in northern Utah. And he said that there could be tons of gold involved. I like that. But he informed me that there's an extra element to this project. I'm not sure exactly what it entails, but I've been a professional geologist for 40 years, and I think it might be worth a risk.
So here's the deal, fellas. The overall picture of what we're wanting to do is to get in these caverns that run underneath this property.
Okay.
So whether it's treasure or natural gold, it doesn't matter much to me, because I'm sure there's gold down there. And that's why you're here, Eric, is to help us kind of lead us down the right path. We have a couple leads of our own that we want you to look at, but one way or the other, we need to get into these caves before winter sets in, and we will do that. And so we want your expertise to be right in the middle of this deal.
I appreciate it, and I'm happy to help you guys. So I'd like to start from the big picture.
Geologically, caverns are known to exist along fault lines. And not only that,
Faults are breaks in the earth, and so you have displacement, and that's where your gold, silver, copper will find itself, and that's documented. Your ranch here is very interesting because you can see these little lines right here. We have several faults in the area. That's what I'm calling a fault swarm. That jumps out at me from the start, and I think it could be a new discovery.
Bingo. That's exactly what we want to hear. His information is matching up with our satellite scans. And some of that information matches up with the legends that we've heard about caves full of gold. So we're looking real good. All right, let's do it tomorrow morning early. Let's go.
Yep, sounds like a plan. So you have a really interesting project here.
Yeah. To say the least.
Duane's convinced that there's gold here in these caverns. I'm not so sure about that at this point, but these caverns are really filled with gold. I would expect to see it in the soil that's coming up through the tube. So the first thing I want to do is test that sediment that Duane pulled out of the hole yesterday. That's the scientific method to search for gold. It's been the same for over 100 years.
And that's a cat's meow.
Gold is much heavier than all the other rock materials around it. So the water gets the material in suspension. When the gold finds the riffles, it'll sink and stay down in the riffles.
Hell, that's cheating, Eric.
Nice, isn't it?
I'll be damned.
That should about do it. That should tell us if there's gold in there. Joe?
Wow.
The gold's in the bucket. This is Blind Frog Wash number 1.
I'll be darned.
I'll bring it over here and we'll pan it and we'll see what we got. If there's gold in there, it'll show up right up in here. And right off the bat, See that?
Holy.
That's natural gold.
I'll be darned.
We're going to document that.
Eric just found gold in the sediment that's been washed up out of the cave system that we're trying to get into. So I'm damn happy. Now we just have to get into that cavern.
Gold isn't formed in the earth one speck at a time. It's formed within larger veins. So every piece of small gold you find on the surface must have come from a larger deposit. Working in areas with large caverns, first thing that comes to my mind is there could be a honey hole, a void literally filled with gold. With the size of the cavern systems that we think are under the site, there could be huge potential. You're looking at millions of dollars.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric finding gold in the sediment coming out of the cavern is huge. So now that we pulled all the muck out of the bottom, we should be able to get down into that chute and look into the cavern. So Chad's going to see what he can find.
My first thought is safety, the safety of Chad. Whenever you go underwater, bad stuff can happen. And so when you go into a cavern like this, it's serious.
I've never dove in a water-filled cavern, no, but we're on the right track, and why not keep going?
Ooh, that looks hot.
Okay.
Chad's going to go slide down that chute and see if he can get into the cavern.
All right, be safe, brother.
Normally on a dive like this, Chad would use a scuba tank, but it's just too tight to get down through that pipe. So what we had to do is rig up a compressor that would pump air down to Chad through his face mask. It's pretty damn dangerous, but it's the only entry point right now that we know of. You know, you probably shouldn't try this at home. It's hard to see in there, but this will be easy.
Got that little bit there.
I can't hear you. It's not working. I can't hear you. My radio's not working. Hang on. Ah, Sheen's fixing to die. Damn it. Charlie boy, what about that compressor?
Dead. A lot of air coming up, so he might be fighting it.
All right?
More air. But we found the hole.
Don't know how to quit. Yeah. Don't tell him I said that. Give him a big head.
I can stick my arm all the way in there. It's full of dirt, though.
Straight down over here?
Yeah.
It's just sediment. Okay. The good news is Chad found the hole, but it's still plugged up. So we're gonna have to keep working on a way to get in there so we can get down to the gold. But what happened with all the equipment dying out of the blue today?
Well, it's not the first time that something weird has happened around here.
I mean, it seemed like it was a far-fetched deal until all these things start happening. Things that made us scratch our head.
When we were drilling down and we first punched into that cavern, that's where hundreds of blind frogs started coming to the surface. And the electromagnetic pulse screwed our gauges up for the rest of the day. Well, the biggest deal is the equipment we were using on the project all disappeared.
Well, I haven't seen anything like that myself, but I have an open mind, and however I can help you guys, I'm here for you.
Basically, this is a huge water vacuum. And with this rig, we'll be able to guide the hose down and suck all this sediment out of here. Thing is, though, there has to be someone down there doing the vacuuming. So it looks like I'm gonna go back in. So we'll go 2 pulls.
You do 2 pulls, we pull you out.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 pulls, then
you come up.
I'll just come up.
Yeah. Put this here.
There's a little bit of a danger to this whole deal, but we have good equipment and good people on the job.
There we go. There we go. He's on it. He's on it. We got sediment coming through.
Copy that.
That's it. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna only be good for 15 minutes the way he's blowing air right now. He's got a little nervous to him.
Copy that.
I just lost the feed from Chad's camera.
Uh-oh. What's the deal? What's the deal?
He's off the safety line.
This really can't be happening again.
Anything could have happened down there. My concern is he could have been working in the hole, and if he gets enough of it out, will the rest of it just collapse on through?
What's the deal? What's the deal?
We need to get him on the safety line.
Scuba diving, it's very tough. It's no game. That's a real deal. It does make you nervous when somebody goes in, and especially when it's your kinfolk or anybody. It doesn't matter who it is.
Charlie boy, I hate to tell you this. Pull that shirt off.
First thing you know, you get rid of your clothes. Clothes will drown you. You're better to go in there nude as you are with a pair of pants on.
He's not on his line.
Charlie boy.
He's good right here.
Okay.
What the
I just can't see anything.
Oh, I thought you lost your deal.
Let's get Chad in here. He can take a rest. We're gonna do a cleanup of the sluice.
Copy that.
What is this? Duane, get down here. We got something big. What is it? Look at that. Does that look like a Spanish coin to you? Oh. It looks like it's gold and some silver in there. It was amazing. It was that feeling of discovery that happens maybe a couple times in a lifetime. To be honest, I was kind of doubting this whole project, but I've just done a 180.
Oh,
There is something going on there.
Yes. This is great. We find that, it's like, oh, we're not even inside the cave yet. But we gotta keep going. There could be some crazy stuff in there.